The sandstorm hit Kepler-44, Tebbe's research outpost, with the fury of a wounded beast. Wind speeds crested at 120 miles per hour, turning the rust-colored sand into a billion tiny razors that scoured everything in their path. Inside the Vryn shelter complex, Lisa Chen pressed her face against the reinforced polymer window, watching her equipment station disintegrate outside. The crystalline structure that housed her atmospheric sensors shattered like sugar glass, scattering fragments across the desert floor. "Third one this month," she muttered, her breath fogging the transparent surface. Commander Zekather, the Vryn expedition leader, clicked his mandibles in what passed for sympathy among his kind. The emergency huts were designed for Class 3 atmospheric events. "These storms are unprecedented. Lisa turned from the window, her dark eyes flashing with frustration. "Your people have been terraforming planets for 3,000 years. How did you not account for this?" The insectoid alien's chitinous plates shifted a Vryn shrug. Kepler-44 Tebbe's atmospheric models suggested maximum sustained winds of 60 miles per hour. "The reality has been humbling." Lisa bit back her reply. It wouldn't help. The Vryn were the galaxy's premier terraformers, and Earth had been lucky to secure even a junior partnership role in this expedition. Complaining about their failures would only jeopardize humanity's standing. In the Galactic Consortium, the storm raged for another 6 hours before finally dying. When Lisa ventured outside to survey the damage, she found the outpost in ruins. 5 of the 7 Vryn emergency huts had collapsed completely, the remaining 2 looked like they'd been chewed by a mechanical beast. She was cataloging the wreckage when she heard the voice. "Mum, you might want to see this." Lisa spun around to find David Morrison standing behind her, his weathered face creased with something between amusement and vindication. The human veteran had arrived 2 weeks ago as part of Earth's military advisory contingent, a position the Vryn had reluctantly accepted after 3 researchers died in a previous storm. "See what, Sergeant?" David gestured toward a ridge about half a mile distant. "My tent's still standing." Lisa grabbed her field scope and peered at the coordinates. Sure enough, a small tin structure sat pristine on the rocky outcrop, its fabric walls barely even dirty. Around it, Vryn sensor equipment lay in twisted heaps. "That's impossible," she breathed. "Want to take a ride?" 20 minutes later, Lisa stood before David's tent, running her hand along the taut fabric in disbelief. The structure was completely intact. Not a single stake had pulled loose. Not a single seam had split. "How?" she asked simply. David knelt and pointed to the tent's foundation. "See these stakes? They're not driven straight down. They're at a 60-degree angle, away from the tent. Creates a wider base, more resistance to uplift. The Vryn anchoring system uses vertical insertion with expanding roots underground," Lisa said, her scientific mind racing. "Maximum surface area, minimum installation effort. Yeah, well, those expanding roots work great in normal soil. But this desert substrate, it's too loose. The roots can't grip, so when the wind hits, it yanks the whole system out like pulling weeds." Lisa circled the tent, noting the reinforced corner patches, the aerodynamic profile, the guy lines running in a complex geometric pattern. "This design is ancient. I've seen pictures of tents like this from Earth's 20th century. Korean War surplus, actually," David said with a grin. "Well, the design anyway. I fabbed this one myself using modern materials, but the engineering? That's 70-year-old human military tech. The Vryn have computational fluid dynamics models that can simulate wind patterns across 1,000 variables," Lisa protested, though her conviction was wavering. "Sure they do. And I bet those models work perfectly on their home world, with its stable climate and predictable weather. But humans?" David's eyes grew distant. "We evolved on a planet that was actively trying to kill us. Hurricanes, tornadoes, blizzards, monsoons. We've been dealing with hostile weather since before we climbed down from the trees." Lisa pulled out her data tablet and began taking measurements. "The Vryn are going to want to analyze this. Already anticipated that." David handed her a storage chip. "Complete specs, materials list, anchoring methodology. Tell them it's a gift from Earth." Over the next week, Lisa worked with David to retrofit the remaining Vryn shelters using his principles. The Vryn engineers were initially skeptical, some even offended that primitive human designs might surpass their own. But when the next storm hit and every modified structure remained standing, the skepticism evaporated. Commander Zekather summoned them both to his command center 3 days later. The Vryn leader's compound eyes gleamed with something Lisa had never seen before: respect. "Sergeant Morrison, Dr. Chen," he began, his translator rendering his clicks into precise galactic standard. "The Consortium Council has reviewed your modifications. They are impressed. Just doing my job, sir," David said. "No," Zekather leaned forward, his antennae quivering. "You have done far more. The Vryn have been terraforming for millennia, but we have always selected stable, predictable worlds. We thought this made us wise." He paused. "We were wrong. It made us complacent." Lisa felt a surge of pride. "Commander, humanity emerged from chaos," Zekather continued. "Your planet subjected you to extremes that would have destroyed most species. But instead of perishing, you adapted. You learned. You created solutions born not from computational models, but from survival necessity." David shifted uncomfortably. "With respect, sir, it's just a tent." "It is never just a tent, Sergeant." The Vryn's mandibles spread in what Lisa had learned was a smile. "It is a philosophy. The Galactic Consortium has specialized in the easy worlds, the paradise planets, that require minimal adaptation. But the galaxy has thousands of hostile worlds rich in resources. Worlds we ignored because we lacked the engineering perspective to tame them." Zekather pulled up a holographic star chart. Dozens of worlds lit up in amber. "The Council is creating a new division, hostile world terraforming, and they have requested that humanity lead it." Lisa's breath caught. This was unprecedented. Earth had been a junior partner, barely tolerated. "And now, why us?" she asked, Zekather's compound eyes fixed on David's weathered face, then shifted to Lisa's determined expression. "Because," he said simply, "you know how to thrive in hell, and you can teach the rest of us how to do the same." As they left the command center, Lisa glanced at David. The veteran was grinning. "What?" she asked. "Just thinking," he said. "The whole galaxy's about to learn what we humans have always known. It's not the strongest species that survives or the smartest. It's the one most adaptable to change." Outside, another storm was building on the horizon. But for the first time since arriving on Kepler-4 Lisa wasn't afraid. She was ready. Humanity had spent 10,000 years learning to weather the storm. Now it was time to teach the galaxy how to do the same.